You have to be aggressive with chasing payments because it can kill your business, literally. Kill it. Dead. So that's the reason why I used to drive to the clients. There were the government organizations, for example, or the care homes. I would drive to them, for example, and I would hand deliver my invoice to them. So it was there. And sometimes I would sit with them, have a coffee, because I'd bring them a coffee. Depends who it was, for example. Obviously, if it was like, government organizations, yeah, sometimes I could have sit down and have a coffee with a commissioner, for example, and I've just handed them the invoice, for example, and they open it up and just have a chat about some of the clients, for example. It's not just about the invoice, it's about meeting with them and talking with them and seeing if they can give you any more work and building that relationship up. So this is when really you as directors, you can get out of, maybe you're at home all the time in your office, you can get out of your office, get some fresh air and get in your car and just drive around and drop the invoices off rather than emailing them. That way you're getting fresh air, you get to meet people, and you may drive past and you may go in and they may go, oh, you know what, I need someone tonight. Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll get on the phone right now. Yep, they can come tonight. So think about that option. Imagine if you're going around delivering your invoices, which is what I did in the end because it was getting ridiculous, because I kept calling and saying, did you receive it? No, I haven't received it. Okay, or yes, I have received it, I've passed it on to this department, and you ring this department, then they say, no, I can't see it, it should be here in a couple of days, and then you're like, okay, let me wait a couple of days. Then you ring back in a couple of days and you say, did you receive that invoice? No, I still haven't received it. So then I used to get in the car. That's what I used to do, because I thought, if I carry on like this, is going to end up being 40 days payment, not 30-day payment, because 10 days is sorting out who's got the invoice, especially when you're dealing with larger organizations. So just bear that in mind. And it's nice to get out from, if you're stuck in your office, it's nice to get out and meet people as well. Meet the people that you email instead of, picking the phone up, talking to them. You can see them face to face and give them the invoice and just talk about, the clients that you're working with, for example, for them. For example, if there's any issues, for example, it can be discussed right there and then, for example. And when you think about that, I even also did it with my private clients as well, because, back then they didn't have email anyway. So I used to hand deliver it instead of posting it, because I used to like meeting people. And I'd say, how was your care? Was you happy? How's the carer doing? Great, yeah, I'm getting on really well. I'm not saying I'd be spending like, an hour with them. I'd spend about 5-10 minutes just delivering and talking for 5-10 minutes with the client, and they get to know you, building up a good relationship with them as well. And whenever they need extra care, guess who they're going to go to? They're going to go to you, because you're the one that's going to help them, for example. So let me know that you enjoyed that. Thank you for your like, by the way. I really appreciate your like and your likes. I do want you to be aware, if you do want to get factoring or invoice finance, for example, then approach your banks, or you can go online and you can even do a simple type in invoice finance Barclays if you're with Barclays, if you're with Lloyds if you're with Lloyds, NatWest if you're with NatWest, if you're with HSB, and there's all different types of banks that do it. But there's also the other organisations that do it, like there's Bibby Finance. Are they still going, Bibby Finance? Let me just check before I say that word to you. Because they may not, because I haven't heard that name for ages. Yep, it's still there. It says Bibby Finance. Bibby Financial Services. So see it there. It says Bibby Financial Services, for example. So there's Bibby Financial Service. There's loads. There's hundreds. There's even angels that will come and give you the money. Literally, if you've got invoices, they'll give you the money, and they'll possibly say, right, okay, I'll give you this, but you pay me back, and I want this percentage from you, for example. You know, literally, there's plenty of different organizations that do things like that, business angels. So there's quite a lot of options that you can have in order to pay your staff, in order to have your cash flow, so that you get paid on time, because there's nothing worse than customers not paying their bills, and then you're the one that is struggling as the business owner to try and see where you can get this money from to keep the cash flow going and to pay. So I hope that that's been very helpful to you. Now, the process usually is when you do invoice factoring finances that you have to fill out an application form. You have to provide the information. You've also got to provide the proof of the contract that you've got with the organization. For example, terms of business is fine. Also, there's the invoices, so they want to see a copy of the invoices, or maybe you give them a copy or upload the copy, scan them, and so they can see that, you know, that these organizations do exist with you providing the service to them, because they don't want anyone to try and pretend. So they need to see that evidence. And what happens is, it all depends who it is you're dealing with. They will also email, or they will reach out to the organization to say that they're taking over the invoices and the payments must come to them. You will see a sample of our invoice here. It's stamped, for example. That is to say that you must pay our company, for example, instead of the company that's delivering the service for. But directors, it is your duty to chase up your invoices, for example. And I know it doesn't seem nice, but what do? You can't leave it, can you? So, because, you know, it's not fair. If people don't pay you, then it's not fair on the business, and it can cause great difficulty. So you chasing those invoices, you're doing it for a good reason. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. You're allowed to do that because the work has been done. Now, work is work. How good someone does something is in the person's... You see, people don't realize beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So whatever you think could be different from the person who's doing the work as well. So it's also about the work was done and you're being paid for it, because that's only fair to do so. Because otherwise that will leave you in difficulty. So, like I said, there's plenty of factoring company, finance companies that will help you with invoices if you are working with government organizations, care homes, for example, you can get invoice finance through that. Even home care, when you're dealing with government organisations like the integrated care boards, the commissioners, the home care, the departments, the cities that you're in, for example. So there's lots of different ways that you can get invoice finance, providing that it is for a business that has been credit checked, for example, and that they know is reliable. So check out, do your own research on it yourself, but do check it out, because it is a good thing. Even though there's the bad side, there's very much a good side to it. So you've got to weigh up for yourself. And I say go for the invoice finance factoring. It's up to you, but you do need to have something like that that's going to help you. And I'm not saying that you have to submit all your invoices through there. You know, you can submit your invoice that you need to submit, but it's always good to submit when you've done the work, so that the money comes in quicker, in order to prevent a block, in order to prevent a stop in you getting your funds. So thank you so much. This is Christine Crowell, and thank you for being here today. And I look forward to the training tomorrow, which is on AI tools that you can use for your healthcare business, or any business, tell you the truth. That's what I'm here for, is to help you to grow and to talk to you about these things, because there's different stages, like how I said, you've got to do the application stage. Then, well, first there's the quote stage, then there's the application stage with invoice finance. Then third, there's some questions, you got to upload some information, for example, and they will ask for a ton of information, for example. And then, because they've got to ID you and check the company and all these things, your passport, insurance, etc., etc.